Hi there, welcome to the video. The Hunter, Call of the Wild. Quite possibly my favourite game of all time. But that isn't to say it doesn't have its glitches, its peculiarities, and its problems. One such problem, which used to frustrate me before I learnt how the game works, was that occasionally animals would seem to disappear. I've made a video here of an animal which I was tracking to show players who perhaps don't have the experience how they can seem to find animals which have essentially vanished. So the track dries up, but there's no animal to be found. Now, obviously, there's a number of reasons why this can happen. Like I say, The Hunter, not a perfect game. But this particular problem will happen again and again. And so it's nice to know maybe that your animal hasn't vanished into thin air. It's just not where you think it might be. So, yeah, I've just paused it at this point. I'm getting towards the end of the tracks. It's about to dry up the trail. I killed this yak, or at least I shot this yak down by the riverside, and it has sprinted off into the woods. And yeah, like I say, it looks like the trail is about to run dry, but there's some clues there if you're careful enough, and you can spot them as to what might have happened to the animal. So I'll play the footage once so that everyone can see exactly what I saw first time round. You can all try and work out where you think the animal has gone, and then I will go back and play the footage again, but talk through the clues which are there, which will allow you to try and locate the animal which seemingly has vanished. Okay, so let's go. Okay, straight away we can see that we have a blood spatter there, so we follow that in the direction that it shows, and very nice. We've got some footprints there, so we can see it's a wild yak. It's running at this point. Brilliant. Leads us to another blood splatter, which for some reason now is pointing in almost the entirely opposite direction, which is a bit odd. But we follow it and we follow it, and now we get a little bit annoyed, a little bit frustrated because there are no more tracks. And that is essentially it. You can see me looking around, I'm trying to find it. You can see the blood splatter there in the background, but it doesn't matter how much further I walk, the animal has essentially vanished. So there we go. So I'll run that back to the beginning. So like I say, yeah, for a new player or someone who doesn't quite understand how the Hunter works in certain scenarios, that would be it. You'd have lost the trail, it's all gone cold, and the animal has seemingly vanished into thin air. Very frustrating, especially if you knew or had an inkling that the animal that you'd shot was of, decent trophy value, which this wild yak, I believe it is. When we finally catch up to it, it is a gold. So it's not the sort of thing you want to let slip, especially if you've been tracking it and, lining up your shot for a good 20 minutes or whatever it is, which, it can take that long if you're a new player to actually find an animal. So yeah, you don't want to see it just vanish into thin air, which is obviously what seems to have happened here. So question is, for anyone who's more experienced, did you see the clues? Did you see the relevant factors here which will allow you to find the animal? If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you've watched this far, leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet spotted it, but you find it useful, the information I'm about to give you, so that you can solve the mystery, leave a thumbs up. think what I'm trying to say is leave a thumbs up on the video. Right, so let's play it back and I will show you the relevant clues, because there are two things which I think will allow us to kind of determine the fate of the yak. And in fact, I don't even have to start playing the video to show you the first one. So if I go onto the old pen tool, you'll see right up in the top corner there that the blood trail is showing us that the animal is already at 0 health, or 0 to 25 as it shows you there. Now that means that the animal is literally on its last legs and is about to die. So bear that in mind as we play the footage forwards. So yeah, that was the first little blood trail that we saw. The animal is still moving in this direction at this point. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty hefty beast, this one, this wild yak. Over 1,000 kilograms, so it's not the sort of thing that you want to just let go. Cool, I will pause it there. Now, to anyone who was thinking that the change of direction is somehow to blame for the disappearing animal, unfortunately that was a red herring. Animals do just sort of weave in and out and do a zigzag pattern when they're fleeing. So anyone who thought that might be relevant, I don't think it was. So let's play the footage a little bit further. So yeah, we start to follow, and this is where the animal disappears. Now, the next relevant clue as to what has actually happened to this animal is that the slope that we are currently on. So what did we find out before? We found out that the animal is essentially dying and is on its last legs. It's breathing its last breath. It's about to die. So what can we conclude? Well, I think, and we're about to prove it, the animal has actually died probably somewhere around here. And the peculiarity of the hunter in this instance is that when an animal dies, it becomes a physical object in the game world. And that does mean that when it is on a slope, there is a good chance it will slide. And it's crazy. Once you see a dead animal sliding down a mountainside or down a hillside, it does look kind of weird. They kind of slither. I don't know how to put it, but it's very smooth. They just sort of slide down that hillside. So what's happened here, bearing in mind that obviously we know it's about to die and it is on a kind of 30% sort of drop here. What I think has happened is that the animal has died and has now started to slide to the right. And we will most likely find it if we play the footage a little bit further. So yeah, speed through here. We're having a look. It's not there. It's not here. Go a bit further. So yeah, there you can see that blood splatter in the distance. But if we follow the slope and go down the hillside, you can see actually I've already put the marker there. But yeah, if we just follow the slope, keep on going, there it is. Our yak has arrived. So yeah, I mean, it is a strange thing about the hunter. It doesn't have to be a particularly steep slope for the animal to get caught and start slithering down it. It will happen. If you play the game long enough, you're bound to see it. But there you go. There's our golden yak. Let's see if we can get a good view of it. Where is it? There you go. So yeah, I mean, there's our golden yak. We wouldn't want to be without it. I'm glad I found it because, you know, I wasted a bullet on it. Yeah, so like I say, this is kind of a PSA for people who aren't quite as au fait with the way the hunter works in certain scenarios. If you are on a slope and the trail goes dead, there is a good chance that the animal has died and has just slid out of view, possibly quite a long way if you're on a hillside or even on a mountainside. So there you go. That is the mystery of the missing wild yak solved. And yeah, like I say, if you found this interesting, leave a thumbs up. If you've had similar incidents where animals have disappeared and you can't understand why, leave a comment. There are other reasons why animals might seemingly disappear. I can think of one particular one right off the top of my head, which I might do a video on if I can capture footage for it. But yeah, fingers crossed somebody has found this one interesting. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Take care of yourselves.